Well, here come Eastern Suburbs onto Lang Park, the defending champions in the Winfield State League. Very good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Bruce Warwick. The defending champions out first, Bruce.
Yes, and they look keen and very enthusiastic about it, Alan.
Let's have a look at the Eastern Suburbs side. The fullback is Ken Jackson, the three-quarters, Pat Cowell, Mark Nash, Steve Wilkes and Steve Dowden. The halves are Chris Hastings and Andrew Need. Have a look at their pack of forwards. The front row is Ian Staines, the skipper, Rob Rattiri, the hooker. The other prop is Steve Herman. The second rows are Sean Keating and Scott Nielsen. And the lock is the big hitter, Darren Wolans, and they're coached by Johnny Lang. And they had a very, very lucky win here Wednesday night, Bruce Warwick, to get into the final. And here come the diehards, led by Tony Catton. They had a very easy win over Brothers, whereas East got up in the last 50 seconds over North Queensland.
And this is certainly the side that comes into the game as favourite. It's a very strong team. Hegarty's at fullback. The three-quarters are Burke, Coyne and O'Neill and Buckley. The halves are Daunt and Shadell, and that's where their strength is. The forwards, a very good-looking pack of forwards, very big. Anderson and Fitzgerald and Rolls.
Two men into the tackle on the Eastern Suburbs ball carrier. He doesn't want the ball slipped away, and he wants them to run hard and tackle hard, especially in the first 10 minutes.
Nielsen putting it down. And that should be Valley's possession. Only about 20 metres out from their own line. Hegarty. Right on the quarterway. Now Daunt, short pass to Frank Rolls. He was one of a number of players in doubt for this match. Boys might notice at home a whole heap of numbers and players playing in various positions. That's because the program was printed with a team listed and all the changes came in after that. So according to the rules, they have to play the numbers as listed. So scrum to pack just on the quarter. That's Eastern Suburbs quarter at Neve. We had a blinder here the other night against North Queensland, and the battle of the halves. Trevor Shadell had a big game against Brothers in his semi-final, and I suppose you look at it, Bruce, the halves were really the stars of the semis, weren't they?
They certainly were, and I think that they'll play a big part. As I said in the opener, that Valleys do have a problem close to the ruck. It's already been exploited with two breaks, and if Neve is alert and he's got some support there, yeah, East could be right in this game.
So Staines hits it to the halfway mark. Rattiri trying to get away from Boys, and now Neve. This is Sean Keating right on the halfway before he's put to ground by Catton and also Shadell. I know Peter Coyne is playing. He was in grave doubt for this match after leaving the field on Wednesday night. I thought at one stage he might have had a broken elbow, but he's out there. So when you look at it, a lot of blokes not supposed to be out there, Bruce, are out there. So if it really gets tough and heavy, East might outstay them.
I think what Ross Hendrick is obviously working on with Rolls and Coyne and these sort of players is to put them out there, let them go as long as they can, rather than risk having them on the bench and go on after an injury or a replacement. So I'd say they're out there to go as hard as they can for as long as they can, and then they'll make the necessary replacements.
Shadell, very elusive. Fitzgerald wearing number 2, he's the hooker. Whoops. Cowell, Buckley and Catton put him to ground. This is Wilkes. Kicking game's going to be all important territory. Very valuable. Steve Herman just at the 22. Now it's Staines. The call came from Rattiri on the inside. Eventually gone back to Wolans. The pass has gone back to Neve. Well, Valleys are opening up in the early part of the match. Dowden floating one over the top, and here's Jackson. Here's Jackson. How's that? Valley's looking very, very vulnerable, and the defending champions draw first blood. Kenny Jackson in the score. East lead by.
Hasn't he made a remarkable recovery? Dislocated elbow and a cork leg, and back on the field on Sunday afternoon.
There's the hero of Wednesday night making a fatal mistake there for Eastern Suburbs.
Mark Nash, the man in question, scored with 50 seconds to go on the clock the other night and now knocks that on. So Valleys with a chance just outside the Eastern Suburbs 22, where Shadell will feed. Hegarty's in the back line. Shadell goes on his own. They've left half a hole for him. That's danger. Support from Daunt, but where's the rest of them? Now Catton, but it was too late. Shadell had made the opening, and something that you don't often see for Valleys, he was left stranded. Now Boys, Coyne, Daunt, no one running. Shadell to Buckley. 8 out from the line. Copybook tackle from Wolans. Shadell sneaking, almost a Shepherd. Here's Catton. Boys into space. There's the try line. Valleys hit back. Richard Boys in to score. And Eastern Suburbs lead by 6 points to 4.
Yes, Richard Boys is a player that once he gets the side of a line, he's going to score a try. But just have a look here. Should have been probably called a Shepherd there as Shadell ran behind Buckley. But then the long pass across and finally it got into the hands of Boys on a short pass. And once he got under the opening, he's got a lot of speed and he took no chances diving for the line to outpace the East defence. But there was a lot of lead-up work here by Valleys that went nowhere, and I think it just caught East defence napping a little bit. And then finally, when the pass did go wide, Boys, once he got through, big and strong, too quick, and the try is there to Valleys.
Nice pass from Tony Catton. Beautiful short pass. And Boys hitting it, hitting the line. I'm just looking at where Shadell ran behind Buckley. I don't think any East player was impeded. And they really weren't all that moving up in any close proximity to him. I don't think it impeded the play in any shape or form. So Valleys have hit back.
But you mentioned something there, Alan, in the call that is very evident, though. For the first time in many weeks, we've seen a break that hasn't been backed up. So that sort of shows their attitude to the game at this stage.
Hegarty makes no mistake, so we've got an even ball game. It's 6 points all, and there's 13 minutes gone first half.
The Valleys don't look the side that they've looked in previous games. They're certainly not as composed and they're certainly not as organised. But I think you'll find as the game goes on, they'll get into top gear, and that's when the trouble will start for East.
Oh, out on the full.
Tell you what, he was going to take that, Catton, until he got a call from one of his other players.
Well, he had about 3 or 4 thinks while it was in the air, Tony Catton, and it just went out on the full. Jackson hitting it, and he gets the call about here, and it came from Buckley, I would think.
And they're mistakes that East just cannot afford to make.
So Hegarty to hoof this right down to, oh, that's a nice kick.
Both the kickers in this game, Hegarty and Jackson, are both excellent kickers of the ball. And you'll see some good yardage made with their line kicking and also their goal kicking.
Daunt. That looked pretty tricky. Didn't fool anybody, including the dog in the outer. Tony Catton, 10 short of the 22. Paul Fitzgerald, it's gone through Daunt and Coyne. Jinking. Back to Strasser. Someone will have to straighten it up. Shadell's found space, and the support's from Boys. Over the top, he floats it. Here's Burke. Try number 2, Diehards. Oh, he's kicking out on the full. Off the kick. And that has cost them at least 4, maybe 6. Valleys lead by 10 points to 6. And as Bruce Warwick said, you can't make mistakes like that against this team and get away with it.
But I tell you, Alan, this is scored in exactly the same circumstances as the first one. Some sloppy play that seemed to be going nowhere. As you can see there, Strasser just standing, passing, and then all of a sudden Shadell finds a hole. Boys backs up again on the berth, and then good play, Richard Boys, as he looked through the defence and then lofted the pass, and coming straight in was Burke in cutting the defence to pieces, really, because he came in on the angle. We'll get a good look at it this time. But again, standing, starting, sort of going nowhere play, had the East defence flat-footed. And then all of a sudden it went forward through Shadell. beautifully picked up, boys, and good work, boys. He hung on just at the right time. Now lets the floater go, and then coming straight in was Burke, and cutting the defence of the Eastern Suburbs right in half to score a good try.
Shadell having a blinder. And boys running wide and doing everything right. But you just have to go back to find out where the try came from. It came from the kickoff, out on the full. So East get together. Behind the line, have a huddle, while David Burke walks back to the wing position. No goal. Valleys lead East 10 points to 6. The Winfield State League coming your way on Nine's Wide World of Sport. So the restart not out on the full. Chris Hastings taking the kick, and he gives it into the hands, or kicks it to the hands of Ziggy Strasser. The old campaigner, Ziggy Strasser. Football wouldn't be the same unless to see him running around somewhere. He might even play with you, did he?
No, he came the year after I left.
Well, he's not that old. But he's been a great campaigner, Ziggy Strasser. Or Anderson. Just trying to get the pass away. Now Coyne. This is Jardine.
Pat Cowell with the eyes strapped, about to come back on.
Pretty warm day today, Tiles. A bit hot down there?
No, actually, it's quite pleasant, mate.
Oh, it must be the commentary box. We'll get the air conditioning fixed. Rob Ratteri at the halfway mark.
Cowell's on and Jardine off.
Plays it forward. Where are the runners? Where was the same steam and enthusiasm which caused havoc in about the first 5 or 6 minutes from the Tigers? That's high. Hegarty's calling for it. Buckley called for it. They called for it together and they mucked it up.
Well, Hegarty was the man in best position to take it. I think Buckley should have got off the ball when the fullback had called him off it.
Well, he did. He tried to get out of the way, but it was too late. So, Eastern Suburbs with a great opportunity. Loose head and feet. 18 out from the try line. This is where Neve runs. 10 short of the line. Chris Hastings at dummy half. Valleys lead 10 to 6. Sean Keating, the big fellows, within a centimetre of the line. In fact, he almost got it over. Scott Nielsen now through Neve and picking up Staines. Peter Anderson over the top, and underneath was Fitzgerald. They hang on to him. Now Ratteri. Change of direction through Hastings, and it's now with Scott Nielsen. Boys went high, missed him. Dowden a dummy half. Short side to Herman. Final tackle. Neves a dummy half. The grubber kick on. No try. It's come off the referee, I think.
And very bad luck for Andrew Neve then, because the kick was perfect, the idea was right, and I think you'll actually find that he might have even got there, but have a look at the kick there, but unfortunately off the feet of Manson, and so the try could not be awarded.
He might have been a bit unlucky, because I don't know whether there was anyone else at home behind David Manson.
Actually, what happened was he knocked the ball on just after he'd kicked it. Came off his own chest.
Well, that takes care of that. So it's still East. Only 5 out from the line. Hastings can't beat the tackle of Daunt. And now Wolans onto Keating. And the big prop's only 5 short of the line. The diehards in front 10 to 6. Ratteri running across and wrapping around. Oh, and he's thrown it to Coyne. Back to Daunt. Valley's having a little thinker, trying to run the full length of the field and score.
Unfortunately, the East player coming onto the ball stayed wide instead of coming close, and the short pass ended up in the hands of Valleys.
Peter Anderson, and he's got the pass away. He's lost. I thought he might have lost the ball there, Tony O'Neill. Yes, he has.
Great little pass from Anderson.
Tell you what, just having a look at it though, if East could get a dummy half that would run slightly across field and have a runner on the inside and the outside close to the ruck, by gee, they'd find some holes because they're there. It's just that they're not exploiting it.
Buckley will have to tidy up, which was an absolute mess. Just over 19 minutes to half time. Valleys in front, 10-6. Now Boys, he's had a strong first half. Staines going a bit high. Coyne straight into the hands of Neve. The one thing about Valleys, they do vary their play. This is Wolans. That's why they're such a hard team to beat. They have so many options. Scott Nielsen. Whistled to the ground by Richard Boys. And now, well, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about Scotty Nielsen. Didn't just lose that basically on his own, although David Manson said Boys was interfering. Oh, yes, it was his hand.
I think he might have just given it a touch.
He did.
Richard was trying to tell Mr. Manson that he'd made the wrong decision, but I think you'll find that the hand was clearly there, and it was the hand of Boys that pushed the ball away. But gee, he's having a good game, Richard Boys. He's got into it. But just go back to what we're saying, Alan.
Just wouldn't be hard to spot the hand either. Have a look at the colours. Yellow, white and red.
But if we go back to what we were saying there before, and you have a look at how many times it's on, if when Rattiri's a dummy half, he tends to run across field. If they had that runner coming down the inside of him and one outside, so he had the option, I think they'd be able to exploit a very bad weakness in the Valley side close to the ruck.
Jackson, 27 metres out. 10 to the side of the upright. I'll tell you one thing that won't worry him is distance. This fella can kick out of sight when he hits it. That's a nice kick. Oh, beautiful kick. Well done. Valleys now lead 10 points to 8. And there's 18 minutes to go till half time.
One of the players missing from the Valley side on screen now, Billy Holmes, was the captain of the side before his departure through injury, and it's bad luck that he's not there for this big occasion.
Yes, he's had a neck injury, Bill Holmes, so at least he's doing the right thing, giving himself plenty of time to get over that.
Pretty hard to be a hooker with a neck injury.
Mark Nash. Anderson and Catton have hold of him. Now Rattiri to distribute to Keating. He's giving these Valleys forwards plenty of curry, Sean Keating. He's a big boy.
Keating's ran well on about 3 or 4 occasions so far for East, and his workload's been exceptionally good for this first 20 minutes.
Now to Neve, Hastings.
Numbers.
Jackson. Beautifully tackled by Trevor Shadell.
They had 3-on-1 then. Jackson would have been better served to get rid of the ball before he got to the player, instead of trying to go through it and get it around the corner.
Shadell's down injured too as this ball goes down to Hegarty. He gives Burke a bit of room. Hegarty, now back to Coyne. Strasser. Buckley. Shadell coming back into play after copping a knock in the head. Frank Rolls. That's good tackling. He certainly doesn't look 100%, does he, Frank Rolls? And Wolans and Staines just made sure he can have a little, think a little bit more about his injury. Boys has to tidy up.
I don't think it'll be long before we see Rubisame into the game, because he had a big game on Wednesday night, and I don't think Rolls will be there for too much longer.
Final tackle.
Started on a crook ankle, Frank Rolls. Done well to go this far.
Cowell.
There's a chance if he can pick up.
He's picked up Jackson, and there's a couple more with him. Oh, he's cut out. Why would he cut out Mark Nash? Nash was straight beside him. He's thrown the pass to Wilkes. And that's just a wrong option.
Yeah, a mistake from Jackson. It was good work as the ball came across field. Picked him up with the numbers. He called Nash and then didn't pass it to him.
Hello against the feed, is it? Oops. Here's Neve.
Notice that Daunt was feeding the scrum with Shadell out in the centre.
You never know with Valleys, they play anywhere. So Valleys, as we have
Scrum there, it looked like it was a win against the feed. And Daunt and Neve having a little altercation.
All right, so now back to the live action. And we've got Valleys inside the Eastern Suburbs quarter. Fitzgerald gives it to Shadell and he holds it for Strasser. Back it goes to Anderson, over the top to O'Neill. And he's 3 metres out from the line. He'll play it to Shadell. Quick hands on the far side. Boys comes back inside. 2 metres out. Fitzgerald, can they clear the ruck? They can. Daunt.
Good defence for Atiri, ball and all tackle.
Great defence from the Tigers. Catton. Now goes out wide to Hegarty. Oh, that was a forward pass to Buckley. Picked up by David Manson. It will shut the gate by the same token.
Just that short one there from Hegarty to Buckley. Only marginally offside, but enough deliberately forward called by Manson, so a penalty to East.
So Jackson finds touch just outside his own quarter. Valleys lead East 10-8 in a tight game here.
It's been played at a pretty quick pace too, Alan, and the last 5 or 8 minutes before half-time will be very telling.
Bruce Crosby on the sideline for the Tigers, about to come on.
He can win the game for them, Crosby. This is his type of game, where they're throwing the ball all over the place and there's gaps. He's a very, very dangerous player. Now, he's only a little fella. But boy, he can scoot around the park.
Cameron Grigg out here as well for Valleys.
I just wonder, Rod, if you might be able to pick up whether they might be going to replace Shadell, because he's out in the centres at the moment having a bit of a rest from a head knock.
He's been resting. I'll just try and figure out who they are going on for.
So Hegarty back to Daunt, Shadell.
Cameron Grigg for Richard Boys.
Well, he's done his bit, boys. Of course, the interchange rule applies in the State League. That means the 4 reserves can come on and off as they wish. And there's Cameron Grigg. He didn't take long to get into the action, Mr. T.
He loves it, doesn't he? He likes to be in there running the ball.
Coyne back to Anderson. Or the one-hander. Strasser. Back to Strasser from Buckley. He's in an offside position too. He's going to play the knock-on.
A rule that came off an Eastern Suburbs player before it got to Buckley, but he certainly was offside. Buckley and Strasser having a little interpass there before the ball went loose.
So Sean Keating's off, Crosby's on.
Well, that would be one of the first scrum penalties we've seen for a long time for a hooker with the feet up when you've got the feed, because referees these days seem to concede the fact whoever's going to feed should win the ball, and they let it go anywhere. You seem to be able to put it just in front of the lock's feet and get away with it. Yet he's pinged Eastern Suburbs there for feet up in the scrum.
All right, testing time now for the Tigers. 11 minutes to the break. And Valleys inside their quarter, inside East quarter. Now Shadell. Oh, and Anderson putting it down. He's got more strapping on him than a gladiator.
Cameron Grigg, tough tackle.
And another one. Now Herman. I think some of these players getting a bit weary within the last 10 minutes before the break. Lindsay Williams has come on also for Valleys. That's him in number 9.
On for Frank Rolls.
Good chasing from Anderson.
With an ice pack on the elbow now, Frank Rolls, so he's really a wounded soldier.
So the changeover, as we have a look at the diehards bench. A couple of eager Beavers looking to get out there. Shadell over to Coyne. Cut out past to Buckley, but there's not a lot of room. O'Neill right on the quarterway. Let's have a look at Shadell. He's got blood coming from his nose, so he's obviously got a hit there. Oh, half a Shepherd, I'd think. Here's trouble. Burke. Over. David Burke in to score, but I'm not so sure there wasn't a half Shepherd in that movement. We'll have a look again on the replay. Valleys lead 14-8.
You can't have a look at Buckley, Hegarty rather. He did this on Wednesday night. He came through and was penalised for it. To me, he's did exactly the same again. But the mistake from Eastern Suburbs came up before this try was scored, when they didn't clear on a 6 and get out of it and had a turnover, and now it's come up with a try, another one in the corner to David Burke. But good play. Have a look on the front on. You've judged it yourself. Hegarty came through, took out the Eastern Suburbs defence, and the ball went carrying on behind him. Strasser with a little pass there to the runaround, and now on it goes to Burke, and he's got too much pace to come inside Jackson, going high, and makes it to the line for a good try. But you must clear that ball on the 6. You can't afford to be indecisive with it, and the try has resulted.
The Valleys have scored 3 tries. 2 of them, one, East kicked the ball out in the full from the kick-off, and the second one, they didn't clear it on the 6th tackle.
Prefers to play at fullback, David Burke, but gee whiz, he's working well as a winger for them today.
This is something Alan's always mentioning, Rod, that Valleys have this enormous ability, don't they, to interchange. They've got a lot of class players, and it doesn't seem to matter where they play their players, they perform well.
And the other try they scored, the first try they scored, came from, I think, Mark Nash dropping the ball. So the 3 tries have just come from 3 elementary mistakes. Hegarty's kicked that wide, and Valleys lead by 14 points to 8. 8 minutes to go in the first half. The Winfield State League final coming your way on Nine's Wide World of Sports. So Hastings, a left footer, down to Buckley. And Strasser will do the hard work.
East are certainly playing better than they did on Wednesday night, Alan.
In the tackle, Shane Pearce. He's replaced Steve Herman.
Pearce in 15. Grigg. Fitzgerald. Now it's gone to Anderson. Back to Daunt. Now to Coyne. Over the top to Catton. Now to Gregg. And Buckley. Short passing, allowing the ball to beat the man. Oh, yes! That was always on. That was forward. Bad luck. Crosby did the right thing, intercepted the ball to the pass to Steve Wilkes, was forward. Oh, dearie me.
Yeah, bad luck for Crosby, because he beautifully judged the intercept and got there, and you'll see the pass now just travelling shade forward. Bad luck, but it was forward. Crosby may have been better off to hang on to it, but in the spur of the moment and the excitement of being in the clear, probably too much for him to not hang on to it.
Well, that was not only 4 but 6 points. He could have put that under the dot.
At 14-8, it's important now that East just hang in there as best they can for these last 5 or 6 minutes, because they're right in the game. They're playing particularly well, and but a try against them in this last 6 minutes would be absolutely devastating.
Well, that would have levelled the scoreboard had Wilkes not overrun Crosby. A couple of big hits going in there, Mr. T.
Yes, and Pat Cowell responsible for one of them, a ripper on Steve Hegarty. Didn't like the tackle. I didn't think there was anything illegal in it. It seemed to me to be around the shoulders, but Pat Cowell's an aggressive footballer, and he's got 10 stitches in the right eye, and he just wants to make up for it.
It was a good tackle. He left his wing and made sure Hegarty wasn't going any
Hastings tackled by Brett Daunt. Oh, dear. He wasn't. Now he's ruled. I thought for a moment
he was going to penalise East because they definitely, he looked to me to have a marker.
Obviously he wasn't straight on. So Eastern Suburbs now 10 metres inside Valley territory is where Pearce is halted in his tracks by Fitzgerald, and Cameron Gregg now goes to Staines.
East have got to exploit the Valley's blind side more too. The Valleys are fairly thin, and here's a chance.
Crosby driven back, and a great tackle from Anderson. Now Hastings. Shadell one-arms him to the deck. Dowden. Haven't seen much of Steve Dowden since he created the first try for Jackson.
Starting to play a lot of offside stuff, Valleys.
Neve kicking to Hegarty.
Neve trying to judge the kick into the gap, but it just carried that extra couple of metres and enabled Hegarty to pick it up on the full.
Burke at dummy half. Dawn, dummy and off. The pass to Buckley was fair enough, but he couldn't take it. 4 minutes to half time. Valleys lead 14-8. Nielsen. Staines. Lettieri's knocking that on. So that'll be Valley's ball.
Good desperation from the diehards to get in there and claim that ball, Fitzgerald.
Shadell. Catton. Back up from Shadell. This is where Valleys are dangerous. 3.5 minutes on the clock and a few tired players out there. The gap's there now, but quickly shut. Cowell in on Hegarty. He's got him, number 2, Mr. T.
Yeah, good tackle again. He reads the play well, Pat Cowell. Had to come in to stop the movement, did so nicely.
Tony Catton, bundle up centre field, and the diehards are driven back in the last two play the balls. Daunt. Dowden straightens it up. Held as the call from David Manson. Went the wrong side. Jackson's on his own, and there's 5 Valleys players to tackle him. Pearce.
When Pearce runs, he just gets to the line and then seems to prop and stop instead of hitting it full on.
Wolan standing wide. Crosby. Last tackle. Jackson. Oh, what a good kick this is. It's just... Well, he'll have to try and run it out. He does.
A good chase from Cowell. Unlucky he couldn't claim Hegarty behind the line, but certainly a good chase and a good gain.
Burke now. 10 out from their own line. 2 minutes to the break. O'Neill. Buckley giving it to Gregg. Lindsay Williams, who's got the pass away and coins up the middle. Now, who's with him? It's come off an East player. Rule the pass. They travel in a forward direction. Well,
interesting to see what Manson does rule with there. When we have a look, Coyne made the beautiful bust and showed good pace too to get clear. And then the pass there, I think it come off the East player and it's gone forward to Buckley, and it should have been a play on.
I think the crowd telling David Manson that should have been what should have happened. But East have the ball at the halfway mark. Dowden over in the shady part, in the shade of the Frank Burke stand. Crosby. Under a minute to half time. Lettieri now through Neve and Hastings. And Wolan's out wide. Flicks it back to Hastings and floats one to Wilkes, who has pace. but he doesn't have space and he goes to the ground. Jackson giving it to Nash and he's off. Can Hegarty hold him? Kicks ahead and it's his ball. Knock on.
Knock on. Nash was the player that knocked it on himself. The kick just not quite coming off for him there. He wasn't able to clear the player. Had he, with the deep in goal area, if he could have cleared the player, but certainly showed good pace, got there. Now tries to drop it onto the foot and bring it infield and doesn't quite make it. Knocks it on there. And now Valleys have the scrum on half-time.
Well, they won't have time for the scrum because the hooter's gone. And at the break, Valleys lead Eastern Suburbs by 14 points to 8. Let's go to the sideline on Rod Tiley, and with him he has very interesting rugby league character.
On the sidelines with me is the Brisbane. Okay. On the sideline with me, the Brisbane coach Tom Raudonikis. Tom, the curtain raiser between Gold Coast and Souths this afternoon. Now we're watching the Winfield State League final, Valleys and Easts. What are your thoughts?
Well, I didn't see the first game, but well, up to half-time in this game, I'm very impressed with both sides. And I'm sure the side they select tonight for the Brisbane side is going to be a very, very strong team.
Yes, good, strong team. East Coast League, looking forward to it?
Yes, I am. And like New Guinea come down and New South Wales country and Queensland's country, I think it's going to be a good concept, and I'm very confident of having the side to win it.
Good on you, Tom. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Back with the second half right after this.
.40 minutes of football left in the 1990 final of the Winfield State League. Hey, that was a nice take by Strasser. Didn't take it into his chest. Just took the mark and off.
Maybe,
Valleys lead 14-8.
maybe the Bears might want him.
All right, let's see if anyone still wants players in the dressing room at half-time. Let's find out what happened down there. Here's Rod.
Well, David Burke certainly still in the dressing room. He's got double vision, a result of a knock from a Pat Cowell elbow when Cowell and Hegarty were having a go at one another in that first half. Now, as far as the coaches are concerned, John Lang was saying that he believes that physically they're on top of Valleys, but they must use the ball a little bit better than they're doing. He wants them to chip it a lot more, little kicks over the top just to test them out, and also to tackle very hard for this first 15 minutes. Rossi Henrik is also talking about the value of this first 10 to 15 minutes. He says they mustn't let East score in that period of time.
Wilkes.
I think that's a more than a fair summary of Johnny Lang's, because as you pointed out, Alan, the points that Valleys have got have come from simple mistakes that East have turned the ball to them. And if they can go on with it and eliminate a couple of those mistakes, they're certainly right in this game at 14-8.
Staines down dummy half. Back to Chris Hastings. Jackson will have to hurry because Cameron Gregg was pressurising him. Buckley. Now, was he given 5? David Manson says he was. Hegarty to O'Neill. Strasser. Short pass to Boys. Nicely tackled by Ian Staines. I know Buckley's got plaster on the left side of his ear and cheek too, so...
Just a cut there for Buckley, had that attended to at half-time.
So Lindsay Williams plays it to Trevor Shadell. And he's off. Whoa. Just got by Rattiri on the ankle at the last moment on the final tackle. Coyne kicking. Nash over the 22. Gets away from Coyne. Couldn't get away from a nice tackle underneath from Paul Fitzgerald. Now this is Sean Keating. Herman. Cameron Gregg, the tackler, doing a lot of defence. Staines using the blind side with Scott Nielsen. Neve. Hastings and Wolans to hit the line. And the nice pass has gone to Dowden. Good stuff from the Tigers. Inside to Steve Wilkes. Can he get it free? Oh, he's got it back to Tony Catton. And now Valley's turned defence into attack. By golly, haven't Eastern Suburbs gone close to scoring some tries here this afternoon?
That was beautiful play from East. A nice inside pass back to Wilkes, but then this is where he should have hung onto it. It wasn't free to get the good pass away, even though Neves was there. When your hands are not free to give the perfect pass, he should have took the tackle, and they had a great opportunity to score, and now it's gone begging.
Daunt, Strasser, into Staines, back to Daunt, and along the ground, Gregg will tidy up. The call was inside. Shadell. Back to Coyne. Over to Daunt. And Boys tackled beautifully by Wolans.
Took Darren Wolans to come in, other forwards letting them run to them, just looking at these blue jerseys.
Catton getting the kick in.
That'll roll beautifully.
So pressure being applied by, oh, that's come off, that's a Valley's feed. Nash must have got a hand to that. He's got something on it. Well, here's a testing time. Valley's lead 14-8, and they've come up with the feed. Down they go. Shadell. Daunt. Linking with Coyne. Back to Daunt. East ball. Valleys make a meal of it. I don't know how many times Cameron Gregg had to be told goal will play it. He was still hanging in there after he heard it on the third time. Herman. Neve, Keating. Well, gave Ziggy Strasser the don't argue. Neve kicking. There's no one at home. Hegarty coming across. Had to go a long way because the wingers were up in the line.
That's a good chase too, a very good chase for Easton, a great game.
Neve would have been better off letting the wingers know what was going on there, because Mark Nash chased after the ball, complaining that he hadn't been told. No indication from the halfback. They could have got to Hegarty a lot quicker than they did.
Lindsay Williams on the fourth tackle, still short of their own quarter line. The final tackle coming up. Oh, the kicking game on from Daunt. It's a big kick. Jackson got good hands, this boy. Cameron Gregg puts him to ground, then lays all over him. He's about to give away a penalty shortly, Cameron Gregg. Any old tick of the clock. Cow. Strasser. Putting him down. Keating. Stones. Through Neve for Nielsen. So there's been 7 minutes gone, second half, no score. Neve on the final tackle. Back to Ratiri. Over to Dowden. They keep it alive. Now the ball is smothered. So that'll be the changeover. Wilkes unable to get his pass away. Gee, they don't mind spinning at the boys in the blue jerseys, do they?
They're used to that sort of game. They've got great confidence in one another, and they've got great confidence in what they do. They've scored a lot of great tries by doing that way, and there's no reason why you should change your style once you're in a final.
Strasser, 5 short of the halfway.
Sean Rubisame on in jersey 10. Cameron Gregg gets the break.
Coyne. Now, how's that, Mr. T? How does it look?
That is a great kick.
Peter Coyne
runs down with the blue flag.
Yeah, Coyne has plenty of time, not much pressure from the Eastern Suburbs defence, and he had plenty of time to place it, and place it he did. It hit nicely and then just rolls on. That's the corner flag, so the scrum to go down only 10 metres out.
David Burke back on the bench. The eye double vision problem is fixed up, but he won't be taking any further part, I wouldn't imagine.
So Jackson now. Wilkes. The call was from Nash. Now, has Hegarty got the speed and cover? I don't think he has. He's no hope. Mark Nash is in. Yes. Eastern Suburbs run 70 metres to score. Mark Nash with a ton of speed down the flank, and Valleys lead by 14 to 12.
Well, it's a great try. The call was on all the time. Wilkes is very quick away from the mark, and Nash gave Wilkesy the call, as he called him, and then off he went, and he just had too much pace. The splint between the two wingers was no chance, and then, of course, Hegarty coming across was never going to get to Nash, and Nash has done a great job to score the try. But the call was there, the tackle that was taken on that side, the numbers were there for East, and Wilkes was the man that made the initial break, and then it became just a sprint for Nash, and he had plenty of pace. He's had a great couple of days, Nash.
Certainly has. And he is very quick. I remember we saw a trial match, Bruce, over at Langlands Park against Brothers. He scored a try down the flank. Absolutely motored that night, and he's away. Well, O'Neill's not slow, and he had no chance of getting it.
Now, they started off on even ground, and O'Neill had about 3 metres to make up on him, and he certainly made no impression in the first 10 or 15 metres, and then from then on Nash just pulled away. And of course Hegarty's not renowned for his speed at fullback at all, and he was never going to get to Nash. So once he got clear, he was going to score the try, and now that's really opened the game up, because the first 10 minutes East have got their try. They've been playing good constructive football, and if Jackson can kick this one, they're right in this game.
So level it up. Hits it beautifully. Oh, an absolute gem from Kenny Jackson. 14 all, the Winfield State League final. We'll be back in a moment. 14 points apiece. 30 minutes remaining. Shallow kick from Hegarty. So Wolan short of the quarter. And the marker area for the diehards not looking all that solid.
And those Rubisane's on there, Alan, and he's a type of player that will definitely strengthen up the defence of Valleys around that area.
Also on is number 16, Kahu Tweedy. Herman.
So they've got a very good, strong defensive player on, and now a good runner in Tweedy. So they should pick up from here, but the trouble is East are on a roll.
Jackson giving it away to Dowden. Now to Wilkes. Back to Dowden. Back to Nash. Jackson on the final tackle, putting it up. Hegarty takes it. It's a good chase from Steve Wilkes, just the same. Way to come back to the quarter.
I think Jackson took the wrong option there. They had numbers on the open side had they have passed it. He got away with it the other night where he went one step to the blind and centre kicked. But this time the go was to bring it across through the hands to the open.
Rubisane. Nice tackle from Keating. Catton. Daunt. Tweedy. Nicely tackled. Neve and Hastings. Now Daunt.
On the full.
A little bit of pressure coming on the diehards. Their 6-point buffer's gone now, 14 all.
Not only this kick out on the full by Daunt, but they've got a lot of forwards doing walking in back play, and they're struggling a bit where Eastern Suburbs seem to have got another life out of that try, and they look particularly strong at the moment.
Here comes Wilkes. He might have the pace to beat Hegarty. He's almost there. He's there. He's there. Stevie Wilkes in to score. And East have come back in a flurry. 2 tries in 4 minutes. They hit the lead now. They lead 18-14. To set up Ken Jackson in the first try of the match. So Eastern Suburbs are starting to carve up Valleys out wide, and Valleys been shown to have lack of pace, particularly in cover.
The other thing that is showing that up more than anything is their inability at the moment to put the player on the ground and stop play. Normally their one-on-one defence is exceptionally good, and they usually put the ball carrier down, but an enthusiastic Eastern Suburbs side trying to keep the ball alive, and obviously it'd be a pleased coach and probably supporting coach Des Morris, who was mentioned to be there today. His interest would be high for his old team.
This is just out a little bit wider than his last conversion, Jackson. And that will stay out to the left, so that's no goal. So Eastern Suburbs lead Valleys 18-14, 15 minutes gone, second half. So the defending champions hit the front. It was Eastern Suburbs who knocked Valleys out of the Winfield State League semi-final last year to go on and beat Central Queensland in the final. And a very worried Valleys coach, Rossi Henrik, at this stage can see the Tigers giving Valleys another nudge, this time in the final, unless the boys in blue, Royal Blue, start to do something about it.
I think they can though, Alan. They're a class side. They've won a couple of premierships in the Brisbane competition. They've got a lot of faith, as I said earlier, in one another, and I'll be surprised if they don't come back very strong. And of course we know they can score tries from anywhere.
So Scott Nielsen is just outside his own 22. Lettieri running across, ran into Boys. Staines. Tweedy the tackler. Nielsen. On the final tackle. Jackson. Driving kick.
There's another example, Alan. That time they messed up the throw back to the kicker, and there was still no Valley's defence there, and that's a sign. And if we can see in back play at the moment, a lot of walking players or very slow players to get back on side on the Valley's side. So they're really starting to show some signs of the heavy football they've had over the last couple of weeks.
Fresh man for Valleys, Frank Rolls, back on in 17. Peter Anderson takes the bench.
Tweedy. Back to Burke. Catton. I suppose if anyone's going to spark Valleys back into attack, I think it might have to be Trevor Shadell, the halfback.
But you could just throw a blanket over Valley's attack then. They weren't lined out at all. They were all in one big bunch like a little schoolboy side, and that's really a sign of tiredness more than anything else.
Jackson. He's almost away. Rolls got hold of the jersey, and O'Neill finished him off. Now Staines. Rolls getting Herman before he got to the advantage line, and Rubisame came in to drive Herman back. Ratteri has to take the tackle.
He's a non-stop trier, Ratteri. He's the sort of player every team needs, and he does an excellent job for Eastern Suburbs.
And that's the mistake. Whoops, he's missed it. It's play on. Keating, big Sean Keating now to Wilkes. One-hander inside, that's come off a Valley's player. That's play on. And what is it? 6 to go.
Touched by a Valley's player there. The crowd probably didn't pick it up, but it definitely came off a Valley's player. And East are starting to look really good in attack.
Neve, 10 metres out from the line. Eastern Suburbs looking to drive the nail in the diehard's coffin. Steve Herman only 4 short of the line. East lead 18 to 14. Wolans. Tackled by Daunt, or Nielsen tackled by Daunt. Neve kicks, Grubbers. Valley ball.
He just didn't kick it hard enough. He never quite got trying to change direction with his running style. Didn't quite make proper contact with the ball, but it was dangerous had he got it across the line.
I don't think that's safety first. Catton to play it to Rubisame. Rolls on the 22.
G. Keating's had a big game. He's running well with the ball. His defence is good. And for a big man under these conditions, he's really stayed the distance exceptionally well.
Shadell through Daunt. On the bounce to Coyne. O'Neill kicks ahead. Straight down Jackson's throat. And he's got a bit of room. Shadell comes at him. Hangs on to him. I'm just wondering whether he's 100% Trevor Shadell, because he's not running much with the football.
Well, he copped a couple of bad knocks in the first half, so that must have slowed him down.
Wilkes. Eastern Suburbs, I think they've got a sniff that they might have Valleys, and there's Ian Staines. Just outside the 22-metre line now is where Neve will play it. Now to Nielsen and to Keating through Hastings, who dummies. And then he floats one to Cow, who goes without it. So, Eastern Suburbs are throwing everything at Valleys. Valleys hanging in. East lead 18 to 14.
Yeah, there's been some excellent play in the last 5 or 10 minutes of Eastern Suburbs in attack. Valleys are hanging in there, but I've still got this thought in the back of my mind that they've got players there that can pull a try out at any stage. So don't write Valleys off. They're still in this game in a big way, but gee, East have put up a gutsy performance from their Wednesday night showing against North Queensland.
Nielsen clapping his hands, trying to G's players up as Tweedy runs onto it. Valleys finding it very hard to get over the halfway mark into East territory. Dawn. Now, Jackson comes in cover. Dawn kicks ahead, has been flat. This will be a penalty.
Gotta be.
Well, this might be a try. This might be a try. Is it a try? David Manson arrives on the scene, gives the penalty for the late tackle on Dawn.
Jackson, the man who made the tackle, back they come.
Well, everything happening here, left, right and centre.
There's obviously a level or a time in a tackle that you're committed to go on with it, but Jackson there had plenty of time to get out of the way of Dawn, but he knew if he didn't get out of the way, they were shot ducks east on a beautiful break from Dawn, and he's put him down and got the penalty now, only about 10 metres out from the east line and in good kicking distance for Hegarty.
What's the difference between that and a professional foul?
Not a lot, because
you see, professional fouls, they go straight to the sin bin. Well, if that's not as close to a professional foul you get, I don't know what is.
Well, it's probably the area that would have saved him is that he's a long way out from the line. He may have ruled that he had a chance to turn away, but on the slow motion replay you can see that he had set himself to make sure that Daunt didn't run past him.
So Hegarty makes no mistake. The Eastern Suburbs lead by 18-16, and there's 18 minutes to go in the match. So we're in for a last 18 minutes of action, thrill and excitement in the Winfield State League final.
And isn't it great that a competition that has featured some really good, close, hard games should come down to a final to be this way. And as I said, East have had the better of the last 10 minutes, but they're only 2 points clear, and Valleys have this brilliant ability to be able to break sides at any stage from anywhere.
East and Valleys have only played once this season. That was in the Woolies competition. Oh, that was a big hit. Wolans on Tweedy. And Valleys won that 30 points to 8. Jackson. Fitzgerald waits for him, puts him down. Nielsen will take it in 5 metres and play it. Jackson lying on the deck. Keating drops it.
He's holding his shoulder, Jackson, down from where he took the tackle. It'd be bad luck for East if they lose him, apart from being their goal kicker. He also is their line kicker and a very big key in their attacking play. So he's moved out to the wing, and Cowell's gone back to fullback.
So Shadell now tries to put Dawn into space, but it closes. But the pass, meantime, goes to Coyne, and now Hegarty, but there's plenty of black and gold jerseys coming in cover. So the play, the attack has switched inside to Shadell. Now through Dawn, and now it goes to Tweedy. He's just short of the quarterway. Valleys trail by 2. East lead the defending champions 18-16. Sean Rubisame. Fitzgerald that goes to dummy half. Daunt turns it inside the boys and he runs into Keating. He's held on the 4th tackle. Fitzgerald now to Daunt. Shadell acts as a 5'8", and a long pass to Coyne. Dummies. Back inside to Shadell. Yes, this is a try. Good stuff. Oh, Valleys have done it. Tony O'Neill in to score. And they've hit the front. Valleys lead 20-18.
Daunt's the man holding the ball up, then back inside it goes to Shadell, but the pass came from nowhere to see O'Neill run onto it to score an excellent try. Have a look at the hold up of the ball here. Goes across the Valleys back line. That's where it's held there, then comes back inside. It's kept alive from Coyne onto Shadell on the first, and then beautiful backing up from O'Neill to come around and score a very good try.
Great little inside pass from Coyne. It made it.
Well, when he stopped and propped, he caught about 3 off guard. And Shadell backing up, found the gap, and O'Neill came in from the wing. And as Bruce Warwick was saying just only seconds or minutes earlier, Valleys have the personnel to score from the first to the 80th minute and from anywhere on the park, even though they did score that from inside the opposition's quarter. You can never write them off. The Valleys now lead 20-18. You would think Hegarty would kick this and that would give them a 4-point buffer.
And East missed to fix it. Bruce Crosby on the sideline about to come on. Interesting change from John Lang.
So Hegarty kicks it. Valleys lead 22-18. 13 minutes to go in the match. The Winfield State League final coming your way on Nine's Wide World of Sports. So Hastings down to Tweedy.
I'll be very surprised, Alan, if East can come back from here, even though they've got a ball. I think they've given their best, and I'll be surprised if they can come back and win from here.
Well, Tweedy losing it on the tackle, and now it's with Keating. Now East have got a big chance here. It's against Shadell.
It was the Darren Wallens tackle on Kahu Tweedy that jarred the ball loose.
What do you do here? 12 minutes remaining. Take the two.
Got to take the two.
So Jackson coming up right in front. And should make no mistake with this. Well, this Winfield State League finals had everything. Now, there's a realistic chance this match could end in a draw. And if it does, it'll go on penalties. So what's the penalty count at the moment, Andy? (6-5) East. So East in front on penalties. So
given that the penalties are even, Alan, that comes down to who scored the first try.
Which was East. So East are in the box seat.
Dreadful way to decide a final, isn't it?
Yeah,
Penalties and first try. What a joke.
What happened to those saddest officials who used to let you play extra time?
I think every bloke on the field would prefer it that way.
So Jackson straight through the high diddle. Valleys lead 22-20, 12 minutes remaining.
I still stick with the theory that I don't think East are going to be. I think they've played their best football. It's a case of whether they can hang on and how many mistakes Valleys are going to make. But I think Valleys have got the running. I think they've got the players that'll come home the best in this series of the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game. So I'm going to stick with our earlier decision. But, gee, it's been a great effort from East to improve from Wednesday night to this level today.
But you're not going to sell them out yet, are you? There's 12 minutes to go.
I'm not selling them out, but I just think that they've played their best football, and that last try scored by O'Neill for Valleys has given Valleys enough of a chance now for them to pick up and go on with it.
So you think they've played their best hand? Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what unfolds in the last 11 minutes now. 22 points to 20, Valleys lead. Keating to Cowell.
It's probably the best news that I could have given any Eastern Suburb supporter, is to say that they can't do it, because with my track record, they probably will.
So
David Burke back into the action now, despite that vision problem.
Right, Crosby now dummy half. The kick will be on. Goes to Jackson. Sits up for Hegarty. Now Keating waits for him with Neve, so he decides to have a run. Keating caught him. Burke is going to spin this wide, I think. He finds Cameron Gregg. Daunt's calling for the ball. He's got it now. And it's now with Tweedy. Shadell holds it for Boys. He's over the halfway, Richard Boys. 10 minutes to go. Shadell, Daunt. Floats one to Coyne. Can't break the tackle.
Coyne's played very well today. Not only his kicking game from in the field of play, but also his running and his defence has been outstanding.
So Daunt's got the kick into Jackson. It won't go dead. He'll have plenty of time to run it out. Well, Shadell stood in front of him, got driven back about 5 metres, but he put him down. And there's Mark Nash. What a semi-final he had the other night. He scored in the 39th minute of the first half, and he scored in the 39th minute of the second half to win East the semi-final and get them here today. And he scored a try here today as well. So he's had a big 4 or 5 days. Mark Nash, Wolams. Back to Neve. Staines. They keep it alive. Herman. Oh, Rubasame had him and let him go.
I think he thought he'd passed it.
Now we're on the final tackle. Coyne is limping. Brett Dorner's limping. The Valley's out there, the walking wounded. Crosby still getting the pass away. So Jackson will now kick. Hegarty. Whoops. Pretty risky one he gave to Cameron Gregg. Buckley. 22-20 Valley's lead, 8.5 minutes remaining. Daunt. Oh, it's gone away here to Burke. Now, what's inside? There's defence, there's attack, and there's Trevor Shadell, and he will score! Trevor Shadell's in, they laid off him. The little halfback. Well, we said earlier Valley's were to get back into the match. Shadell had to spark it. He created the try for O'Neill, and now he scored one on his own, and he's just stood and looked at him. Valley's lead 26-20.
Daunt's pass here and the pickup by Burke was the one that
Trevor Shadell, Andrew Neve could have been in contention as well, but just hasn't been quite as sharp as he can be in this Winfield State League final. So Shadell should have the inside running, I think.
Is that coming back? It is. It's over. So Hegarty converts the try and Valley's lead 28-20. 6 minutes remaining, and Bruce, that might be just about enough to get them home now. An 8-point buffer.
Yeah, I think so. As I said before, I think he's played their best football earlier, but they've really stuck to the task, but it's hard to defend against play like that try of Valley's.
Tony Catton driven into the ground by Sean Keating. The Tigers are fighting to the death. Buckley driven back. Good chase from Crosby and Rattiri. Coyne at dummy half. Boys. He's lost the ball. Rattiri's come up with it.
Fair steal.
Now, can East get back in the business here with Herman? The crowd, the Tiger supporters have something to cheer about now. They're in an attacking mode with Hastings. He pushes off Rubasame. Couldn't push away Fitzgerald. Neve. Staines. Swarmed on by Rolls and also Catton. And now Neve. Hastings dummies to Keating and goes on his own. Nice tackle from Frank Rolls. There's 5 gone. Will the bomb come from Jackson? Neve. This will be play on, and Shadell picks it up. Good cover from Cowell just as well. That would have been shut the gate. They wouldn't have got him. And now Cowell's going to give away a silly penalty.
Stupid play from Cowell. He'd done an excellent job to hold Shadell because had Shadell got away. But Cowell here just too over vigorous. He'd made the good work there. He'd stopped him easily. And then instead of getting off him, now a little push again. And that's just stupid play from Cowell because he's allowed Valleys to come down within 12 metres of the East try.
Super kick from Peter Coyne. Here's Fitzgerald. Rubasame flying onto it, head straight for the line. He's only 5 metres out. Fitzgerald goes to dummy half. Over to Rolls. Well, he's called tackle number 2 for about 10 seconds. Shadell. Coyne. Greg. Back around from Coyne. Now to Daunt. Brett Daunt's in to score. Valley's too strong at the death. Too much mobility. East have played great football here today, but the diehards are too strong. They lead 34 points to 20.
Unfortunately, the end scoreline's not going to do enough justice to Eastern Suburbs' performance today, but just too many numbers, not being able to put them on the ground. And what a great game Daunt and Coyne have had together today, and they've been part of the Valley's revival when they looked in trouble early in the second half, but great play.
The score's 32.
Greg did well there also to hold the ball up, but then the wrap around again, and Daunt just had too much, and the numbers were too few for Eastern Suburbs. When you have a look, Alan, in the side today, it's been a great win from Valleys. They had their troubles throughout the game, but they've stuck to their job, and Shadell's played exceptionally well. I thought in the forwards, Richard Boys has had a good game. Tony Catton's tried hard all day, but it's really been their backs that have set it all up for them. There's been some good defence. Frank Rolls, I thought, has played particularly well, but really it's been Shadell, Coyne and Daunt, the players that have really been the outstanding ones. The Eastern Suburbs side, they've also had a heap of good players. Jackson's had a good game. I thought Dowden has done particularly well. Wilkes was very exciting on the few occasions that he did run, but really their few Wallens has had an outstanding game. Neve, certainly not the game that he had last Wednesday night, but he played very constructive football. And again, up front, I thought their best player of the day has certainly been Sean Keating.
Straight as a die.
Ripper.
Straight over the black dot. And Valleys now lead 34-20. There's 2 minutes to go.
It is a shame for Eastern Suburbs, though. When you read that score line tomorrow in the Courier Mail, it's going to think that Valleys walked all over them, but that's not the case. Eastern Suburbs have put up a magnificent performance this afternoon, but they just haven't been good enough to beat a very good Valleys side.
They came close to scoring on about 3 other occasions I can remember. And they're still fighting right to the death. I think Johnny Lang can take heart. Although he'd be disappointed naturally, but he can take heart. That Valleys, who a lot of people always seem to think are unstoppable or unbeatable, they're beatable all right. East have shown that this afternoon. But East have played dearly by making simple mistakes, and it's those simple mistakes that sees them lose their title as holders of the Winfield State League. In the last 60 seconds.
No choice, Valleys.
Pearce plays it 10 out from the line on the final tackle. Up it goes. Ken Jackson losing it. Someone tackled out the ball and the scrum will be packed down. No, it'll be a changeover. It was the 6th tackle. So Valleys in front 34-20. As the clock ticks down over the last 30 seconds.
Jackson taking it and trying to flick it back in one movement to keep the ball alive, knowing that it would have been a handover had he have been caught with it, but in the end it still went over to Valleys. Here's a chance.
And here's a try. Steve Wilkes, right on full time, gets the bounce of the ball and scores underneath the post. But that won't be enough. Valleys lead 34-24 with the kick to come.
Yeah, the handoff there from the kick ahead was charged down. The ball went anywhere, and then a Valleys player doing a ruckman type style hit out, but unfortunately it went to nowhere, and Wilkes was the man in the right position to pick it up out in the open, and of course Valley's not particularly perturbed about the try because the full-time siren has gone.
What about next week in the first round of the Winfield Cup? Jackson adds the extras. That's it. That's full time. And Valleys are the champions in the Winfield State League for 1990. They've defeated the defending champions Eastern Suburbs by 34 points to 26. What about next week in the first round of the Winfield Cup, Bruce Warwick? Valleys and East play at Newman Oval.
They'll be sick of the sight of one another, but what a great end to the competition. And the State League was introduced many years ago to give the country people a chance to get involved in the game, and since then they've always went particularly well. I thought the competition overall, they had great wins in the country games this year, and for North Queensland to make the semi-finals. We also had Wide Bay perform particularly well all year, and it's been a great competition for everybody. But these two sides, probably justifiably so, have made it to the final. North Queensland can think themselves unlucky, but they're not here today, and East put up a great performance.
All right, let's go to the sideline, and here's Rod Tyler.
Thank you, Alan. Well, the Winfield Cup premiers of last year have come up with the Winfield State League. The man who guided their fortunes today, Ross Henrik. Ross, congratulations with that patched up side. Job well done.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. It was a patched up side. The players were carrying a lot of injuries from last Wednesday night, but they stuck it out today and come up with the goods.
There's got to be something special with a bloke like Peter Coyne, who comes back from a cork league, a dislocated elbow, and stars.
Yeah, well, Corny, he got better as the week went on. We didn't think he had much chance after Wednesday night. They were talking about chip bones in the elbow and everything like that, but we trained last night for the last time, and he comes through the session real well.
Mate, the use of the interchange bench during the Winfield State League, obviously coaches like yourself and John Lang have been able to use it effectively. Is that something you'd like to see in the Premiership as well?
Yeah, it's a good idea. You get the big blokes to feel the heat a bit, and with that thing about Danny Shepherd down in Sydney, I think it's a good idea to keep it in.
All right, mate, well done. Hope to see a lot more of Valleys in 1990.
Thanks, Rod.
Don't they have some depth, Bruce? When
Yeah.
you look at the injuries, and like when you have a look at the side, like who'd ever heard of Kahu Tweedy before the start of the season? He's come on and played like a whirlwind the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he like a lot of the others, just needed the chance in top company to be good players. But having a look at this side and what we've seen of the other teams around, I'll be very surprised if we don't see these two sides here come September fighting out for the Winfield Cup as well.
All right, let's go to Rod Tiley again, and this time he's got a disappointed coach.
Yes, a disappointed John Lang, but Langy, from the semi-finals Wednesday night, you said that they'd have to improve a lot to play Valleys, and they did.
Well, I'm not really disappointed. It would have been nice to win the game, but in the end, Valleys were the better side. But, we're getting closer to them, and I was really pleased the way we went.
A couple of changes you were forced to make late in terms of the backline positional play. Chris Hastings, for instance, is one of them. Did that disjoint you at all?
I don't think so. I thought Chris played well at 5'8". Stevie Dowden set up 2 tries in the centres. He was a bit scratchy with his defence early, but he sort of started to, get his range as the game went on. I've got no excuses at all. I thought we played well, and Valleys were just a bit better for us at this stage of the season.
Can I just ask you one question, John? Bruce Crosby, you use him effectively off the bench. Why doesn't he start?
Well, because I think we've got better back rowers in the starting side, that's why.
And would you like to perhaps see him in a different position other than lock forward sometime?
No, look, we've got a lot of good players in our club who aren't in first grade, and at the moment, Bruce has just been one of them. It's that simple.
Well, the Tigers obviously have shown us a lot, so 1990, you're looking for bigger and better things in the Premiership.
Yeah, I thought that was a great step forward today. We've got a young side, it's great experience for them, and we're more determined than ever to try and, do well in the Brisbane Premiership now.
Thanks for the entertainment, John.
Thank you.
John Lang, the coach of East, beaten today by Valleys in the Winfield State League.
All right, we'll be back with the presentation after this commercial break.